Hello friends, welcome to the channel. If today is the first time visiting with us, we want to extend you a very warm welcome and invite you to look over our almost 400 videos, as we are very confident you're going to find something enjoyable and useful to you. If you've been here before but you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Do subscribe and also hit the little bell icon so you will be notified every time we post a new video, which is midweek and on the weekends. If today is your birthday, I want to extend to you a very happy birthday. Like all our projects, today we start by going over our scrap bin and finding the pieces that we think are going to be the best choices for our project. So these are the pieces we came. This is a little set of dowels that I got for about $1, and this was from our scrap bin, and these are, it looks like 2x1s.
Yeah, just cut-ins.
Just spare pieces that are left over from other projects. So let's see what we can build using these pieces of wood.
Oh, sorry.
Alright folks, we're going to start by cutting the base and the vertical piece into the correct dimensions. So we decided we wanted about 7.5 inches, and that's where we set it, right? Can you turn the vacuum on? Okay, so this will be our base, and now we're going to cut a small angle on what we're going to call that, the tower piece. And how much of an angle we want? 15 is too much. 15 degrees is too much, you think?
No, I don't think it's too much. I was thinking more like 20.
I don't have 20, it goes from 15 to 22 and a half. Well, let's see what 15 is, and then we can go from there. Yeah, I need a saw to finish this cut.
Did you move it?
Yes. All right, now I'm ready to cut the vertical piece in final length. Okay. And as you can see, this has an angle and the top part does not. We're going to do a little sanding on this piece off camera. I know you all know how to sand. So with the piece cut to length, we're ready to cut the final size of the, shape of the piece that will give it an elegant look. So we're going to use the bandsaw for this process. And what we have done here is we have drawn a line on where we want to cut, and we are going to use a freehand method to cut it, and if we need to fix any imperfections, we'll use a little bit of sanding. So, because we weren't able to see it, but now we're ready to go on and cut. Okay, so put the cut area here to see if it needs any adjustment. The part we just cut.
There's a little bit of
Oh,
cleanup.
I think it looks fine. Okay. So now we're going to cut the dimension of our horizontal pieces, and I'm going to start by cleaning this edge that it is kind of rough and we don't want it to be visible. So this will be the first thing we do. And here we just want to take a blade's width or less, right?
Yeah, whatever we need to.
You can top the lavaria keeps it. And that's a little cleaner, right?
Yep.
Okay, now we wanted it actually there. There is too much.
A little bit more, I think. Yeah.
So we need to put something there. You want it there?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. And we simply use that for a stop. We're not holding the wood. There is no reason to hold the wood, right? Is it on?
Fingers.
Okay, you watch what you record.
Yeah.
And we need a total of 6 of these, right?
So then you might want to clean the edge.
I'll clean it this way, I guess. Now we don't have the identical species, but we have the identical size, right? So we're going to use this, even though it's slightly different looking and it has an imperfection here. So I'm going to cut that imperfection off, right? Or I'm going to attempt to cut the imperfection off. This has a little bow. Not quite. Well, actually perfect. So we have an extra one. Don't know what we're going to do with it. Well, they're not very different actually. Here they are. And we're going to put, this is the conclusion of our cuts. We have our base and we have our vertical piece. And now we have the side pieces. So we're going to do a little bit of sanding and maybe a little bit of rounding, and we will be right back for the assembly, right? And here we're sanding our pieces, getting all of the rough edges off. Are we going to finish this or we're going to leave it natural?
I would like to finish it in some way.
Now we're going to do that in all pieces. No reason to film all of this process, and also because those were pieces for previous projects, we have some writing on them that is irrelevant now, and the sanding will take that writing off. Operates as an eraser. So because we have 6 of those to make holes in, we use a piece of scrap as a template, and we found the middle in both directions, width and length, right? But it's not focusing. So the idea is, and I hope it will work, we are going to make a hole there, and it didn't work because it broke. So if you saw, as you saw, our first piece broke, but one of the good things about having a lot of scrap around us is that we had another scrap, and here is our very simple jig, and the way that will work is that in all of our pieces, and here is a scrap piece, another scrap piece, we're going to just put it on top. They all have the same dimensions. Make a small mark using the drill bit point, and I don't know if that will be visible on the camera or not, but this has a point there. Can you see it?
Yeah.
And that will ensure that we're always in the middle of the
Okay.
of the piece, yes? And here, this is our vertical piece, and we've made marks of where we want our horizontal components to be on the vertical component. No, you could make an antenna this way. No?
I guess.
You don't find this humorous. Okay? So should we do those holes first? Okay, good. So we're going to do all the pieces, and we're going to use this clamp to hold them while we're drilling them. So give me the other piece, right? And do you care where we do the hole?
It's not quite lined up with the edge. Hold on. Okay. You have to hold one side. There you go.
Okay, take it off. And we're going to repeat this process 6 times, and we'll be right back with you. Alright friends, and our project started taking shape. The vertical and the horizontal pieces have been put together, and as you can see, they are very well aligned. And now we're ready for the last piece. We had to cut some dowels. The idea behind the project we make is that they are easy to build. This project could be built by making openings the size of these horizontal pieces, right? But that is much more complex and difficult. So we decided to just use dowels, and what we're going to do is we're going to put the dowels, and that will give the illusion of full pieces, right?
Of course, we're going to glue them so they don't
Right.
wobble.
And we're going to glue the dowel in the middle piece too, so it doesn't rotate either way. I mean, it wouldn't rotate anyway, but anyway. So we're going to do that, and we're going to show you the project. First piece, and the chances that you're going to be absolutely perfect with your centering is really not very high, especially if you do it by hand like we did. So here's a little trick we want to show you. so that it will look like one piece when it is done.
So this is the same type of wood, so we made sure that if we had a piece that was different, we used both sides of that piece together so it looks like one piece of wood. But the other part is we're slightly off center here when we drilled the hole, and every single piece is the same. If we put these together like this, they would be slightly off center.
Probably not visible, but still it's better to do it.
So if you put the smallest pieces facing each other and then insert them like that, they'll look like one piece of wood rather than something that is a little bit lopsided.
Okay. So we put some glue in inside the piece. Yeah, that's it. And then we put a dowel. So now again we're putting glue on the reciprocal piece, both in the opening that the dowel will be inserted and on the side. Again, this is not going to carry a lot of weight, so don't worry too much about it. Needs to be rotated. You can remove it slightly and rotate it if you want. If you don't think it needs to be rotated, then let's do the next one.
Just want to make sure they're lined up at the same angle.
I think they are. Here. Put. And here we're making sure that the angle is both the same for both pieces, and we're going to do that for the third piece as well. And we're not going to show you the third piece is the identical process of the second, and the first one that we showed you finish is of course the identical process of the second and third. So we'll be right back with you with a finished, not quite finished, assembled product. What about that? Alright folks, and here is our completed product. From every angle you can possibly see it. And it is completely assembled, but we are going to finish it to match our furniture. So the next step will be staining. And now we're prepping the piece for staining by removing any leftover pieces of wood from the sanding process and the cutting process. Stains don't like that very much, right?
Right.
Now again, like we always do in our projects, this can be scaled up or down, and you can use your imagination and change things, but the basic idea, I would call it a beginner woodworking project. What do you think?
Yeah, so pretty straightforward, minimal tools.
You can actually even use hand tools to do this, right? We mostly for production purposes use power tools, but on occasion I like to use my Japanese saw quite a lot, as you probably have noticed. It is one of my favorite tools to use. And I would prefer it unfinished, but stain matches better our decor.
Yep.
And I never cease to be amazed by the immediate change that the stain presents to a piece. So we're going to finish the staining process, and we're going to show you the final product. And here is our finished and stained piece. That is the final form. Nothing else is remaining but to populate it with the items it's going to proudly display. Did you like that?
Mm-hmm.
And you have noticed, those of you that have been in the channel before. You know this is one of my favorite stains, if not our favorite stain. And once again, it didn't disappoint. Even though, again, I do prefer natural wood finishes versus stain finishes. Now, the cost of this project was extremely low. The base and the vertical piece I purchased in a second-hand store for 95 cents. I'm not sure what kind of wood it is, but it is a good quality wood. Do you know what wood it is?
I do not. Some kind of white wood.
And then what should we call those, ears?
Sure.
The vertical pieces, the ears of the piece, are dimensional lumber from a big store that actually we had leftovers. So for us this was a zero cost build, but even if you were to buy the material to build it, I think that this will be an under $2 build. Don't you think?
Yeah, it wouldn't cost much for sure.
And I'm quite certain that if you go to one of the boutique stores, you will find similar items for substantially more than $2 or $5 or even $10. So this is a worthwhile store, and if you have someone that wants to display a collection and it is a person that likes, I haven't told them what this is for yet, so I'm trying not to betray it until we show them. I think the next step is to motorize this thing so it does it by itself. So we'll be right back. One of the things I collect and I'm very fond of are clocks and watches, and Mrs. Wizard says I have way too many of them. I don't think I have enough, but I collect them and I keep them in traditional cases like this, which is a very, very nice case, as you can see, but of course you cannot see all of them, and I have 2 or 3 cases like this. So today's project, in case you didn't pay attention to the title and you just watch it, in that case I appreciate it, but you already know it is a watch display build, and that's why I say you can really scale it up or down. Possibly you can put 2 watches in one, right?
Good. If the face isn't too big.
Right. But again, this is my current way of display, and at some time we're going to show you how to build a display case, not necessarily for watches, but for whatever you want to display.
But it's also good because you don't always want to, when you take a watch off in the evening and you have a couple of your favorites that you want to switch out every other day or so, you want to have a convenient place to put them rather than put them all back in the storage box.
Right, that's true. That is true. So let us move some of these watches on the display so you can see it in full action. And we'll be right back. Okay friends, and here is a display with some watches on it. These are random, you know, some of them are of value and some of them are not, and some are trying to escape, you know. But you get the idea of this display, and I'm rather pleased with the way it came. What do you think?
Yeah.
It really can display your watches or maybe bracelets, or what else you can display on something like this. That is too rounded and doesn't want to stay. All of the other ones are staying very nicely, but well, that stays nicely too. It's just, of course, the back is not exciting, but it is intended to be viewed from the front, right? Mm-hmm. It is intended to be a display. And this is our project for today. I do hope you enjoyed it, and you will continue visiting our channels for more fun, unique, entertaining, and useful products. Well friends, we have reached another episode end from the Urban Homesteading channel, and as always we hope you found it both entertaining and useful. If you did, we really appreciate, okay, I don't know what that was. If you did, we really would appreciate a thumbs up. If you didn't, a thumbs down is deserved. Share, like, subscribe, and let us know what you want us to build in this channel. We do builds per request, and I go through all the comments, as you know, and I try to reply to all the comments. And if you ask us to build something, unless absolutely we may not build it because we don't have the equipment or for whatever reason there is a limitation, we will do our best to build whatever you request. From the Garage Wizard, Mrs. Wizard, and the Urban Homesteading channel, want to wish you a great week, and we bid you farewell.